So the first one, it tricks to pass your motorcycle test. Shoot, do you remember when you took your test? And the one thing that I see from people that don't pass the test is that during the class itself, they are super duper like, I don't really care and don't need to learn until like the last few exercises. They're like, oh crap, I can't figure this out. Because the first few exercises are clutch control, primary control, how to turn the handlebars, how to turn. So those are the people that have probably been riding and they know how to do that. But then when it gets to the slow speed U-turn, tight turn from a stop, it's just like all out the window for them.
Yeah.
Because that's what's on the test. The Arizona DMV has it on their website, but I mean, it's a U-turn, it's a straight line weave, tight right turn from a stop,
stopping in that little box,
braking, swerving, and all those things. And if you have improper foundation of just practicing it on your own, it could really mess you up. So basically what I was trying to say, a long story short, is to pay attention in class, because some of you guys say that you're going to be at the MSF course this weekend, so definitely pay attention to the first few steps and build upon that. But then loosen up, like relax, like really relax. Just you're in a safer environment than like a normal parking lot, and there's no traffic, so just relax and try to have a good time. Be loose up top, and then try to really grab the tank with your legs so that way your arms can stay loose. That's another big thing. Counterweighting is a big thing. So the whole U-turn in the test and the tight turn from a stop, counterweight to the outside peg with your weight on your foot. That would really, really help in terms of having to turn itself, and then look where you want to go. So look where you want to go, counterweighting, and relaxing. That is like the three things that I think anybody should start really practicing out on the road, even not just the MSF course and stuff like that. So those are my tricks: counterweighting, relaxing, and then look where you want to go.
Just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Like it's a controlled environment. They're there for you to pass. Like they don't want you to fail either. So don't be nervous just because somebody's looking at you. I mean, if you've practiced, which you've probably at that point have practiced some, if you're not taking an MSF course, which you should, but if you're not and you're just going to the DMV, you would have ridden that bike at some point, before you're getting it. So that's the nice part about it. If you don't take the MSF course and you go get the permit, it's just a written. So once you have your permit, then you're able to actually go out and ride, which you can find a parking lot, or if your neighborhood's pretty quiet, you can just kind of putt around the neighborhood, which that's what you did initially. Yeah. That's what I did too. So and at that point you can really kind of get acclimated and comfortable to your bike, and then when you do feel comfortable, I think it's 6 months.
Yeah, it's not
that you have to putt around and ride around before you need to take the test before you lose your permit.
It's not very long, to be honest. It's not long at all. And the cool thing about taking the MSF course, especially here at Ride Arizona, is that if you do the E course and you pass the E course, which you have to do anyways to get to class, that counts as your written test now. Right. So like you don't even have to take a written test. Yeah,
that's the beauty of the MSF. Yeah. You pay a little bit of money, but they teach you a lot of different things that you won't learn just on your own unless you're subscribed to Dan the Fireman YouTube channel. Dan. And then you could go do it, and then they kind of walk you through it. But if you don't do that, if you don't take an MSF course, and you're learning on this channel and stuff like that, and you feel like just going to the DMV, you could take that test, and we recommend an MSF course.
Oh yeah, definitely, or any type of motorcycle education, because I know some places don't have MSF. So, it really just stay loose, relax, like he said. Don't overthink it. That's one of the biggest things with newer riders, is that you just start overthinking. Like, well, I got to start doing this because I was told this, but now I'm lagging behind. I'm worried. It's set up in a way that you don't have to worry about it too much. When it comes to, well, you're not going to take the MSF at all. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to straight to the DMV. Your best bet are YouTube videos. And at the end of the day, that's not the best coach. As much as I can talk to you guys and say stuff, you need to have like somebody showing you. Unless you're really good at just listening to something and doing it. I'm not like that. I have to watch and touch, and I have to like do it. Have somebody tell me and point things out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are though. Some people could watch a video. That's the great thing about just having a motorcycle and having a parking lot is you can go make your own mistakes. And then you say, man, I don't know what I did there. And then you watch a video and you're like, okay, I understand.
Okay.
And then you go try it again. I mean, we all have cell phones. You can literally watch a YouTube video in the parking lot with your motorcycle and then go and get on your motorcycle. And then if you mess up, go back and watch the video again and be like, oh, okay.
You're giving me ideas for
That's what I
videos.
did.
I need to start making videos where I do like little things like shifting. Like, oh man, I shifted wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, so I need to do shit like that.
But yeah, I mean, you could do it. It's just the MSF course is really, these dudes are pros. And then you're there and you get flooded with information, and it's right information. How many YouTube videos are out there that are giving you wrong information? So
you'd be surprised.
That's not a game you really want to play,
No.
Unless it's Dan the Fireman YouTube.
keep plugging my channel. We're on my channel now. So
All right, never mind. You guys are in the right place.
Amanda says we'll answer another question before we jump into the how to brake in your motorcycle, your new motorcycle. It says Aaron asked how to get over stage fright from being watched. Is that in terms? Let me scroll up. Like in front of other people. Like when you're doing the MSF, or are you doing your test, or are you talking about Matt being on camera again? How would you go over the fear of failure and stage fright from being watched? Okay. Taking the test. So just from my own, I know you asked for Matt, but from my own perspective, I actually had somebody fail the practical, but then you get an opportunity to retake it, at least with us, either that day or at a time of your choosing that you can actually make. But a lot of the times they don't want to have people watching because they get a little freaked out, and that's what causes them to mess up. So the second time they say, I don't want anybody to watch, and that's perfectly fine. But you have to realize that if you're at the MSF, those people want you to pass. They're not there to judge. They're literally cheering you on. And I always give that opportunity. It's like, if you want to try it now, they're not here to judge. Nobody's judging. They want you to pass. And you'll see people, they'll stay and wait to watch that person go so they can say congrats. Everyone wants to leave the MSF with a feeling of, everyone did a good job. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, we had 3 people fail the class, but I passed. Everyone's like, man, it was great. Everybody passed. Everybody had a good time. And that's kind of the atmosphere I try to push and put out there. But this was your question, so I took over.
No, it's okay.
How do you get over stage fright from being watched?
I pictured myself naked.
Yeah. How did I know you were going to say? I didn't. Yourself naked, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, myself
Yourself
naked.
naked.
Yeah, I'm totally cool.
There you go. End of story.
No, I think, it's just like anything else, though. I mean, if you get stage fright on a bike with somebody watching you, you're probably the type of person that gets stage fright doing anything in front of anybody, that you're not maybe entirely comfortable with. So that it just takes a little bit of practice. I mean, you're not gonna just hop on that bike for the first time and then go take the test. You're gonna have ridden it before at some point. So if you go to the MSF course, you're with a group of people. All those people might feel the same damn way. This is the first time they're on motorcycles, and the last thing they want to do is feel embarrassed or anything like that. So if you're in the MSF course, you're with a group of people that probably feel really, really similar to you. If you're by yourself at the DMV taking this test, then
you only have one person watching you.
Yeah, and you've probably ridden that bike before because you probably rode it to the DMV. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's probably not too big a deal for people to feel that way. And once, honestly, you're not there to fail, you're there to pass. And once they say, okay, go ahead, kind of all that goes out the window, and it's time to do it. So sing a little song or something. Any sort of tips. Some people have different tips for stage fright, and there's certain ways to go around it, and there's other people.
Breathing helps.
Yeah, breathing
deep
helps.
breaths.
Yeah. Drinking helps.
Not before riding, not after.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, don't drink for the test.
Drink water.
But yeah. But that might help.
Yeah, for
No,
that.
just practice a little bit. You know, I mean, or a lot of it. Yeah, you should practice, and then that stage fright thing's not going to really. It won't hang out for too long because when it's time to go and it's time to put the work in, you won't think about that anymore.
Yeah.
You think about just hitting the right lines and you know, doing everything properly. So.
Yeah, and you have to think about the atmosphere that you're in too. If you take the MSF and it's the BRC one, because I'm assuming that you want to take the test, so you're there for 2 days, 2 range days, and the MSF coach and the instructor or whoever, they want you to pass. They're not going to pass you just to get a passing score so that way you get on the road and die. They want to make sure that you know everything, and then they really do want you to pass. So just like Chief Lucifer says, his MSF coach was a hoot. He cracked jokes all day and turned it into learning. Didn't even realize he was instructing you that way. That is, you'll only get that from a class. If you show up to the DMV, the lady may or may not care if you pass or not. So you're going to get a lot more instruction, and then you're going to actually get that atmosphere of somebody wanting you to be there to pass.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Those ladies probably care, but
They might. I don't know.
it's not like you're paying them.
Unless it's
know,
like a Friday.
It's not their
at
job.
4.
Friday at 4?
Yeah.
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 All right.
So we're gonna move on to the next one real quick. I see your question. Well, you know what? We're still on the tricks to pass. Let's see. Lights out. Hey Dan, do you think a closed-faced helmet makes the test harder? No. If it's in terms of I didn't hear the instructor say something or the coach say something for the test itself, or the lady at the DMV, it doesn't make it any harder. I like to practice like I ride, so I'm always wearing the same helmet. I'm not choosing a 3/4 helmet or a half helmet for when I go test and practice, and then I go on the road with a full face. So it's about the same. It's a non-issue on that point. All right. So how do you brake in your motorcycle? This was the second most requested out of 400 plus votes.